Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for SAT. We have been solving SAT math problems out of this book here, the official SAT study guide. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 640. Please turn to it, page 640, and today is our lesson number 62. Lesson number 62. Let's see what we have here. Number 7 is a medium problem. We are told that 2 times r equals 5 times s, and then they go on to tell us that 5s equals 6 times t. I'm combining the two equations here. They tell us that 2 times r, 2r equals 5s, and then they go on to tell us in the next equation that 5x equals 6t. Since it's 5s in both cases, we can condense the two equations into one, and if this quantity is equal to this quantity, and if this quantity is equal to this quantity, then 2r must equal 6t. If a equals b and b equals c, then a must equal c, obviously. So that's it, and they're simply asking us what's the value of r. So if 2r equals 60, then 1r must equal 60 over 2 or 3t. That's it, that's our answer. The answer is C. The answer is C. Number 8. That's about it in this one. Number 8. Number 8, we are told a total of k passenger go on a bus trip. Alright, so we have k passengers, they're going on a bus trip, and we have n buses. And each bus, we are told, can carry a maximum of x passenger. Each can carry x passengers. And we are further told that one bus had 3 empty seats. We have 3 empty seats. And the question simply is, what's the relationship between these variables there, n and x and k? There are two ways we can go about it. One is the pure algebraic way, which is not actually that bad at all in this case. And the other one is to simply make up the numbers and see what happens. Algebra is actually pretty straightforward here. Here's what happens. You see, we have n buses. For example, if we had 3 buses and we are told that that each bus can carry 100 passengers, listen carefully. If we were to pretend that we had 3 buses and each can carry 100 passenger, how many passengers can we put in the 3 buses? How would we find it? It will be 100 times 3, or 3 times 100. The same thing. It's going to be n times x. N times x is the number of passengers that we can put in the 3 buses. We are also told that not all 3 buses were full. We are told that one bus had 3 empty seats. So we have to take away 3. These are the 3 empty seats. And that's your total number of passengers. That's our total number of passengers. And if you were to plug in a number, you will see that that will work out too. If we were to pretend that there are 3 buses, then 3 times 100 would have been 300 passengers. But then because of the fact that we have 3 empty seats, we don't have 300 passengers, we have 297 passengers. So you plug in these values for x and n, and the final answer is the number of passengers that we have is 297. We go through our answer choices and see which one works out to be 297. Which one gives us the value of k to be 297. And lucky for us, in this case, A is the one that gives us the answer. So even with the plugging in numbers, it's not that bad. Number 9. That's it, number 9. Just give me 1 second here. This cup is extremely full. I had to be careful because I got greedy. Voila. Number 9. You understand that voila part was extra. It's not mandatory in India when you have a sip of tea. In the event that you end up going to India. Number 9. We are given 2 parallel lines. We are told that this angle is 80 degrees. Now for those of you who have trouble figuring out the angles, sometimes it gets quite complicated when they give you 2 or 3 parallel line, and then the 2 parallel line, one is going this way, one is going that way, and they're asking you how much each of these angles equal to each other. If you're one of those people who has trouble with this concept, what I would like you to do is type in this tag here. Where should I put it? Geometry for SAT Day 8. Geometry for SAT Day 8. Just type in this tag in quotation and watch the video that pops up, and you will learn all the concepts that you need to know about a parallel line and what happens when 2 parallel lines are intersected by a third line, which is what's going on here. So if this is 80 degrees, then this must also be 80 degrees. This is a fact. These 2 angles are equal to each other. Now what's going on in this problem is that they split this 80 degrees. I'm going to do it in a different color by giving us a third line, and they tell us, okay, watch what happens. We're going to insert one more line here. Actually, the picture that I drew is a little bit different here because they don't extend this line, you see. It doesn't matter. It's not going to make any difference. Don't freak out, okay? So here's the third line. There's the third line, and then let's erase this part here which I extended. Okay, you with me so far? And then they tell us that this top part is 50 degrees. This part is 50 degrees. If that part is 50 degrees, then the bottom part must be 30 degrees. This bottom part here must be 30 degrees. As you can clearly see from the way I drew, it's not drawn to scale because 50-degree angle actually looks much smaller than a 30-degree angle, but it doesn't matter. It's a 30-degree angle. The question is, how much is this angle? How much is this angle here? This is what they're calling x degree. Well, this line, I'm going to do it in the blue now. This is a straight line. This is a straight line. And what do we know about a straight line? A straight line is 180 degrees. A straight line makes 180 degrees. And we are told that part of that is 30. If part of that is 30, the remainder must be 150. The remainder must be 150. And that's it. What I'm going to do now is, in the event that you had trouble following me, because I did such a banged up job drawing the picture here, I'm going to redo it. And I'm going to put a little bit more attention to how it is drawn so that this top angle, 50-degree angle, actually does look bigger than 30-degree angle. We're going to redo it. Not that it's necessary, you understand? Once I tell you that it's not drawn to scale, I don't have to redraw it because it's not drawn to scale. But only in the event that you had trouble with it, seeing it, we're going to do it. It only takes a few seconds. So here are 2 lines, and this time I'm going to be careful. This, we are told, is 80 degrees. Okay, now pay attention. If this is 80 degrees, then so is this guy. So is this guy. They're both equal to each other. They are both equal to each other. They are both 80 degrees. What they do next is they break it up. They break it up into 2 parts. And we are told that the top part is 50 degrees. If the top part is 50 degrees, then this bottom part must be 30 degrees. You with me so far? And of course this line continues here. And the question simply is, how much is the remaining part? Well, if this is 30 degrees, if this part is 30 degrees, the remaining part, because it's a whole straight line, must be 180 minus 30, it's 150 degrees. It's 150 degrees. I don't remember actually solving for x in the previous picture that I just erased. So it's 180 minus 30, because this is 30 degrees, this is a straight line, and therefore a straight line makes a 180 degrees. And why does a straight line make 180 degrees? Because a straight line, if you start from one point and go to the other point, is half a circle. That's why it's 180. A straight line makes 180. And if part of that is 30, then the remainder has to be 150. That's all. Number 10. So watch this video, Geometry for SAT Day 8, and you might get something out of it. Number 10. In number 10 we are told that 3x squared is less than 3 times x whole squared, and the question simply is, for what value of x is the statement above false? For what value? And number A is negative 3. Let's put in negative 3 here. Negative 3 squared, what happens is, when we square negative 3, it becomes positive, and negative times negative is positive, so it's negative 3 squared is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. What happens here? Here we have 3 times 3, and 3 times 3 squared, which is 9 squared, and 9 squared is 81, and of course 27 is less than 81. So first statement is in fact true. Our job is to locate a statement. Our job is to locate a value of x which makes the above statement false. It says for what value of x is the statement above false. This is the true statement. 27 is less than 81. Let's try B. Let's not try B, let's try C. In C, they give us 1/3. 3 times x squared versus 3x whole squared. That's how I say it, 3x whole squared. 3 times x squared, if it's 1/3, 1/3 squared is 3 times 1 over 9. And 3 times 1 over 9 is going to be 1/3. And here we get 3 times 1/3, and we square the whole quantity. We square the whole quantity, this 3 drops out, and we end up with 1 squared. So this part is 1. And again, 1/3 is less than 1. 1/3 is less than 1. C is true. C is also true. 1/3 is less than 1. What about D? D says 1. So 3x squared less than 3x whole squared. Now listen, I'm going to make a quick comment here because it happened quite inadvertently. I did not do it on purpose. If you freaked out about these parentheses that I put around x squared for no good reason, and if you freaked out about it as to, oh my god, where does this parenthesis come from, that tells me that you do not have the sound foundation in algebra. You do not understand that putting the parentheses around it just like I did it casually, so cavalierly, it doesn't matter because it serves no purpose. It visually keeps a separate x squared separate from 3. If you're having trouble about these basic concepts, my advice to you would be to learn algebra from the very foundation of it, from the very basic notions of it. And if you are interested and if you're willing to put in the time and the effort, you will have the opportunity, you will be able to learn the algebra the way it should be learned, from the very basic notions, very basic foundation. Go to my channel and look for algebra video. There are 200 of them. There are 100 videos labeled elementary algebra, and there are 100 more videos labeled as algebra word problems. But don't do the word problem first until you've done the elementary algebra first, from day number 1 through 100. Do you understand? And you will lose your fear of something like this forever. Anyway, so x equals 1. So let's see what happens. So it's 3 times 1 squared, which is 3, and here 3 times 1 squared, which is going to be 9, and 3 is less than 9. So that statement is also true. That statement is also true. Let's try B, shall we? Let's try B. This was 1, this was D, and D is also true. Our job is to find one value of x which makes this statement false, and that would be B, 3x squared versus 3x whole squared. If x happens to be 0, 0 squared is 0, and 0 times anything is 0, a big fat 0, and 3 times 0 squared, 3 times anything is 0 times anything is 0, and 0 squared is 0. So these two are equal. These two are equal. But in the statement above, they tell us that this is less than that. This is not. We just found out they are equal to each other. When x equals to 0, the two quantities become equal to each other. Hence the statement is false. Our job is to find one value of x which makes the above statement false, and we have done so. That one value of x is 0. The answer is B. The answer is B. I will see you tomorrow, where we'll continue the following page. Alright? Bye now.